starting on part 3 right now. Tyler, it is time for us to rank our Jokers. We've come to the third part of this, and the moment probably everybody's been waiting for. So we are ranking live action Jokers. There are some Jokers that we will leave out. So let me
like if we rank like Joker adjacent characters, like, and I joke when I say that because they tried to do a version of a new Joker on Batwoman, which was horrible.
no, not counting it.
But if you watch The Flash, I think it was in season 2 when he goes to Earth, or was it season 3? It was season 3 when he goes to Earth 2, and the trickster on Earth 2 is very much the closest you'll ever get to seeing Mark Hamill playing a live action Joker.
Yes. Yeah, that's not on the list. So let's I'll recap for you who we're gonna discuss. So according to Entertainment Weekly, here's your list of everybody that's played the Joker live action, and they didn't miss anybody. So we have Cesar Romero. Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see the pictures here. If you are not on our YouTube page, I'll just look up Cesar Romero Joker or every actor who played the Joker, Entertainment Weekly. So Cesar Romero Joker, most people know that guy. We have Jack Nicholson Joker in Batman 89. We have, this is the one we're not going to rank. We're not going to mention this guy. We have Roger Stoneburner, who's in the Birds of Prey, extremely briefly. He's only
That's a glorified cameo. Come on.
Like, it doesn't count. It's not going to work. We have Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. We have Cameron Monaghan in Gotham. I wish they would have chose a better picture for him, but it works. We have Jared Leto in Suicide Squad. So we are going to rank every version of Cameron's Joker.
Oh, so we're
3 different ones.
Dang it, dude.
We're gonna separate them.
I went by actor instead of version.
I know you did. I know you did, but as I was doing this and I before we were starting this episode, I was like, no, I think we got to separate them. So 3 different versions, 2 different versions of Leto's Joker. Yes, I'm going to split them in half between Suicide Squad and Snyder's version and the Snyder cut, even though it's just like one scene. We have Nathan Dashwood and Batwoman. That's the one you were mentioning. That was kind of flashbacks. I'm not counting it. That's out the window. Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, and Joker for Droit. And then we have Barry Keoghan's The Batman. Okay. So once again, we have Cesar Romero, Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Cameron Monaghan as Jerome, Jeremiah, and Evolved Jeremiah is what I call him. Leto in Suicide Squad, Leto in Snyder's Cut, Joaquin, and a little bit better picture of Barry. Okay. So, Tyler, here we go. I hate these ads on the side, but we're ranking them. You're number 10. Who you got?
Hold on. I got to fix it all. That's what I'm trying to, because like I said.
You're okay, buddy.
Oh, Phoenix. That's easy. It's Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix is your number 10.
Yeah.
And, like, no question?
Yeah, no question.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, well, hold on. I don't know if it's going to let me do both. Well, I'll get your rankings, then we'll do mine. We'll do it that way. Okay. You're number 9.
Hold on. Like I said, I got to redo it all because I went by actor considering both roles, and you've just split them into.
I know I screwed you up. So while you're refixing that, why is Joaquin your number 10?
So Joaquin Phoenix is my number 10 because he's not really the Joker. He's not the adversary. He's just a dude who put on makeup, called himself Joker. He's mentally ill. He's not the crown prince of crime. So, yeah.
No, I think I'm with you. I'll see if this will let me do this here.
What you'd have to do is I think you'd have to load the pictures twice. And that way one picture could be yours and one picture would be my representation.
Yeah, you knew what I was going for. Okay. Let me see if this will. Okay. All right. It will move it. Okay. My number 10 is also going to be Joaquin Phoenix.
I kind of figured that's where we're gonna be because yeah, I think I got them all. Yeah, he just like going back and watching his scene when he's on the Murray show. There's
Hmm.
such a vulnerability where you can just at any moment feel like he's gonna bust out and cry. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just feel like he was overrated and blown up, but he's not really the Joker. He's just and I think the problem is, like I said, the new film retroactively makes the first film diminished.
Yeah. It ruins him. Like I probably would have ranked him higher had the second movie not came out.
I wouldn't
Uh,
have, but I would have had more respect for him.
yeah, I would have. Okay, that's fair because he's not the Joker. Like he never was. But I liked that 2019 movie. I really liked it, but it wasn't the Joker. It's a movie about mental health. So I rank him number 10. So Tyler, number 9,
This one, I'm gonna go with Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. Evolved Jeremiah
No, just
or
regular that one.
regular Jeremiah. Okay.
Because he didn't get a whole lot of time on the show. And he's a little I'd have to go back and really watch. Like I've watched some of his stuff recently, but he's more quieter. And I like because he is more of that cleaner Joker I talked about previously about like, like the hair, like the skin and everything. So yeah, I just feel like we didn't really get as much, out of it as I wish we would have. But I feel like there's still something he's a much more cold and calculating Joker persona. There's not as much humor to him. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's your number 9. All right.
Hmm.
My number 9 is. Oh, he's not in here. Hold on. He might not be in here. Oh, hold on. Well, I think I gave it away now. Hold on. Let me see here. Okay. All right. My number 9 is going to be Barry Colgan's in the Batman. I do not like how he looks.
Yeah,
It's it's horrible. I know they're trying for the horror aspect, and I always appreciate horror aspects, of course. I if they're going for a mixture of Snyder's, Joker, and if with mixed with Heath Ledger. I don't know. I don't know. I'm with you with what you said earlier. He needs to be cleaned up. Like he has stitches in the back of his head. I hate that. His hands are all stitched. If that's going to be the way he's going to be, I hate it. I did. I do rank him a little higher than Joaquin because he actually, we know he is a Joker. I liked his banter with Batman. I didn't mind his voice, and his laugh was all right too. But it's just the look. Even though we didn't get much of a look in the movie, the way he looks that we did see, I I'm gonna hate it. If that's the way it's gonna be, I'm gonna hate it. So I rank him number 9. Yeah. So Tyler, number 8.
it's Barry. Like and for pretty much everything you just said, my thing is I ranked him a beat higher because I liked his interaction. I liked his interaction with Riddler too. And I like his voice because it's just kind of it seems like a natural kind of voice more than he's trying something. I also
Yeah.
like his laugh because it's creepy, but it's not over the top. Like I told you before, like in my head canon right now, it's like he had recently battled with Batman, fell into the acid, and he's being healed. Like his skin's healing, his body's healing, and it's very easy for us to go into like the Batman 2 or whatever, where he's had surgeries and stuff to try to fix up some of his face. He looks, if we just go, from Ledger to him, like it's a huge, like I said, a grotesque look. And I don't want grotesque for my Joker because I actually want to be able to watch a movie and be able to look at the character and not just be like, like.
Yep.
And I think the actor's good. It's not a choice I think I would have thought of, but I'm not against it. And I think he could do something really good and try something different. But I remember when they released that scene, I was all excited, and then I saw, because you don't really see enough of his face in the film in the Riddler scene, but then when I go back and watch, you can kind of see it. And when that photo right there was shown, I was just like, oh my God, this is horrible. And I hope that they cut that scene because of not only just his look, but for like pacing and timing and stuff. But then they released it as a deleted scene because they wanted to show the performance. So I really hope that when we get around to him again, like, he's cleaned up, because he almost looks like he has too many teeth in his mouth.
I totally agree.
I just don't want a deformed kind of like, oh, he's the Joker because he was born deformed and has this issue. Like, no, like,
Nah, let's go back to something else. All right. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was going first with the round? Yeah.
it's your turn.
All right. My number 8 is going to be yeah, my number 8 is definitely going to be Jared Leto, Suicide Squad. I hate how he looks. I think he is the worst Joker that my wife said. Jen gave a ranking. Jen said he looks like a meth head. Joker view is a meth head. I hate it. I hate the teeth. I hate the tattoos. The hair's fine. The kind of cleaned up skin would have been fine without tattoos. I hate this picture, the Macaulay Culkin thing.
Yes.
I don't think that any of the added scenes would have helped. The smile as a tattoo on his hand, yeah, it's all right. I don't I don't like how he talks. I don't like how he interacts with people. I the only scene that he has that I kind of liked was when that guard is there and he walks in and like he like kind of like smacks his shoulders and stuff and like talks with them, and I forget all what he says with them.
Oh no, that's the best scene in the theatrical cut of Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah, that one was okay, but where he's talking to Harlan and he's like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you real bad with the thing. It was just weird. And like, yeah, I don't like it. So he's my number 8. All right. What do you got? Who's your number 8 or your number 7?
It's Jared Leto from Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto, Suicide Squad.
But just piggybacking off everything you said, next year I'm going to be doing a review of the Suicide Squad novel. Like, it's been on my list because that's the closest thing I think we'll get to the true story, because the novels are always written off the shooting script and not always. So I've been wanting to do that for a little while, but I think I'm going to do it next year as a special. Everything you said is accurate.
Thank you.
There's things, like I said, you're coming off of, you have to reinvent this character from Heath Ledger, because when you go from Romero to Jack, there's this huge gap of like 20 some years. When you go from Jack to Ledger, there's this huge gap, but you're going less. There's 7 years between Ledger and Leto. I would have leaned more into a rock star style Joker and not like a gangster, but that's also David Ayer's thing. If you look how he in his other films too, he's very much street criminal from like the LA crime scene. So that's very much his aesthetic.
Mhm.
I definitely don't like the tattoos. I like some of his makeup because it's just different, like as far as the way they did the eyes and the lips. But that scene where right there from that scene, I love that's my favorite scene of his, because he plays really cold and creepy and then out of it, and it's kind of funny and playful to him. That scene, and then the scene in the extended cut between him and Harley where she chases him down on the motorcycle and he has her jump into the chemicals. His laugh was it was okay. but like I said, like they're trying to do. He was trying to do something different. I would like to see the deleted scenes because they re-edit the scenes because in the movie, like between him and Harley, he physically abuses her. He
Yep.
kicks her off the plane, but they tweak this stuff to make it look like he actually cares about her. There's scenes in the that were cut where he had the grenade, and there's a lot of imagery straight from the comics that they used to reference him. Even in like if you go back and you watch that first leaked Suicide Squad trailer, it feels completely different in tone than the second trailer where they tried to make it like a Guardians of the Galaxy feel. I just feel like we didn't really get to see their performance. And I would have liked that because then I felt like we could make an actual judgment call on the characterization. And that's what I hate about with a lot of studio interference, altering cuts, and cutting things where you give a performance. It's almost like reading a book where if I give you, here, Brian, read chapter 2, then read chapter 4, then here's the last chapter, chapter 6. Well, you're like, well, what the heck happened in chapters 1, 3, and 5? Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Just go here.
Yep.
So I just try to lean with a little bit of like understanding of like you did something, and maybe if we actually got to see you more than these quick little scenes, we would understand this version, and then we could actually talk about like what we really liked, didn't like, or how it actually played out. So, but I gotta hand it to him for trying something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that was your number 7. My number 7 is Leto in Snyder Cut. It's better. He had great lines, that's for sure. With the line to Batman about a reach around, and the tattoos are gone, but the the black makeup around the eyes, and then like the laugh at the end is still trying a little bit too hard. It's a little bit better, but not a whole lot. I would have definitely wanted to see more of that version of the Joker than the one in the Suicide Squad, but it's a little bit better, but not a whole lot. So, all right, Tyler, who's your number 6?
I will say this straight up: my number 5 and 6 are pretty interchangeable. And I'm sitting here looking at them, and I'm just like, eh, 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 eh. And the main reason is I think I'm going to flip them. I'm going to go Jared Leto for Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Number
For
6.
for what you were saying,
Yeah.
I do appreciate like he does give a better performance and his looks better. It is funny because Leto wouldn't let him cut his hair because he had grown it out and everything. So that's why we have the long hair Joker, which is kind of neat too because we haven't ever seen that. And I think in just that scene, like it's a different little version. Like you can definitely see it's a little bit darker. It's an adjustment. And we talked about real quick. You mentioned the teeth, the grill, and the teeth. Like they had talked about the backstory that we never got to see was Batman had actually punched the teeth out of his head. Because if you looked at the Batman's gloves, they had like brass knuckle built into it, and that was supposed to be the story that we were supposed to eventually have seen. And that's why he has the fake teeth implants, which I probably would appreciate more had I seen that scene. So, but yeah,
No, I got you. All right. So, yeah. So my number 6 is going to be Jeremiah number 1. I had to go back and watch some scenes because I couldn't remember him a whole lot.
he's not in it that long.
Yeah, it's not in that very long, but the the reveal that he was like evil all along, and then he pushes Bruce into like the grave with Jerome, and that he like doesn't he? I mean, kills Jerome. I believe he did, like kills him the second time, and then the scene where he's talking to Bullock and he has like kind of the cult with him, and he's wearing the glasses. Like I thought he kind of looked silly with the glasses, especially, and like trying to look like the criminal Joker, but what he says, like how he talks to Bullock and Gordon, and like you know I'm gonna kill Gotham. I'm gonna kill everybody, and and then like what? I think I'm just gonna kill somebody for fun, and then he hits the dead man switch, and he blows up like a church. He like just to do it. I think he did very well. I do like Joker being cold and calculating, but like if you see this list here, we have a guy that's not really the Joker. We have a guy that just looks not good. We have a guy that looks absolutely ridiculous. We have a guy that was a little bit better. So, you know, as Joker things, he's okay, but he's not how I want my Joker to be completely
Right.
yet.
And I just checked. He appears in season 4, and I started rewatching Gotham season 4
Yeah,
because I realized I watched it, but that's the season I remember the least. Is like 4 and
same.
5. So when we did our rewatch, we watched the pilot and then the finale and did like a comparison podcast on those two. So I just started rewatching 4, and I'm like 4 episodes into it. So I'm going to keep doing that because this is where he does show up, is in season 4.
Yeah, like I I I like Cameron, so it was interesting to see him totally like do a totally different version. But I like the cold and calculus and the I'm just gonna do it type thing. But he's not there yet to way I like Joker. So all right, you're number five.
I thought we were on number 6. No, it is number 5. Sorry, I flipped
You're
it. That's right. Because I
yeah, you're
flipped it. My bad.
yeah.
My number is Evolved Jeremiah.
Evolve Jeremiah. All
And,
right.
and like this goes because this is like the first time we have the grotesque looking Joker. And I hate like that picture is horrible. He looks
It
a little
is.
bit better in the
It sure is.
episode,
It
but
sure is.
but I hate the like in context is like he's supposed to be kind of a mental because you had Jerome and Jeremiah were twins.
Hmm.
And this evolved Jeremiah is supposed to be kind of like the two twins are blended together as
Yeah.
one being.
Yeah.
So there's a great line where he talks about I'm something else. He goes, maybe a Jack or and he starts saying like these J names and he's like, I don't know, but something more. And he gives such a like there's playfulness to it. His dialogue's good, his voice is fun, but I can't stand to look at him. And that's the problem. I want to be able to watch a performance and enjoy a character, but he looks
Maybe this is a little bit better.
horrible.
A little bit better.
I mean, yeah, that's a little bit better, but he looks horrible. Like he's got scars on his face. He has no hair. He's balding. It's just a little bit. And I understand the context of the show. They're trying to give us a third thing, but if like this is supposed to be now, this is Joker proper,
Yeah.
and this is the image you're giving me. Like this is going to be the ongoing supposedly Joker. It is
I just
horrible.
I just can't find a good look. I
You
can't
could
find a good picture. Well, this one is a little bit more creepier, but I think
like
it's for me it's the hair.
I mean,
Like
yeah,
it's the hair that does it. Yeah.
and that's it. Like the performance is great, but once again, like this is my first kind of foray into like the grotesque Joker, and I'm like, I don't want to look at this.
Yeah.
He looks like a really bad version of the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers right there. But all
I
right.
do I think if the hair was different, it might be a little bit better. It
It
might be.
would help. Like honestly, if you had a full head of hair and
My number 5 is the evolved Jeremiah, the J, if you will, whatever
Mr.
you want to
J.
call him,
Mr. J.
Mr. J. What would you call Mr. J? I I liked him kidnapping Barbara Gordon as a child. I liked
Yep.
him putting her over a vat of chemicals. I liked how he just shoots, Barbara Senior to get to Barbara, Junior. I liked how he just shoots Echo and then he says, "Oh, there's other fish in the sea." Or no, he's like, you'll never have a replacement. And then he's like, no, actually, there's other fish in the sea. I'll be all right. That's a Joker line to me. Like he just doesn't care how he
Yep.
just goes and shoots, just to do it. And then his conversation with Gordon before Gordon stops him, and then when Batman throws a batarang, and also the fact that he like faked a coma, for like 10 years. Like
And this
he
and this
waited. He waited for him to return.
And this is the playoffs and about going back in our previous
Right.
episode when we talked about the Dark Knight Returns. He faked he was in a coma until Bruce came back.
Yeah.
And he knows that Bruce is Batman. But it's like one of those things that he knows, but he's going to keep it a secret kind of thing. I mean, everyone freaking know that Bruce is Batman in that show, but whatever.
Yeah.
But he's like, I had to wait for him to return. He's back. And that's when he comes out of it and we see who he really is. So yeah, like it's a good version. For the one episode we get him like
Yeah.
this, but he looks horrible.
Sure does, buddy. It sure as heck does. All right. This is where I think it's going to get even more interesting now. Now we're in the real talk. Who's your number 4?
Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero. All right.
And like I said, in our earliest chat, there's nothing wrong with his Joker. It's a perfectly fine Joker.
Yeah.
It's just it fits the tone of the show, the tone of the comics, and where the character was at that time. You look
My
at
number 4 is also Caesar.
so yeah. So there we go. Like I just
Gosh, our yeah,
our lists are pretty
our
close.
rankings are pretty dang close.
And we did not talk about this beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a perfectly fine Joker. He's more playful and cartoonish because that's where we were at the time.
Yeah. I like for where we were at the time, he's 100% comic accurate.
And I like because
Like,
his makeup is the smile. Like we hadn't got into like the idea of the permanent smile, the surgery or the scars. Like we're looking at like this grotesque face that's been born deformed with his face peeled back in a smile when this is just a dude who put on a smile. Like
well, this Joker, like you don't know if this is like, I mean, it's makeup, but like with the story of this Joker, it wasn't introduced this vat of chemical stuff yet. Like we didn't know why he looked that way yet. So like, and the fact that Caesar refused refused to shave his mustache and he just put the makeup over it makes me respect him a little bit more. Like, because it still works. It's not like Henry Cavill's whatever.
they should have
you
just
know
gave they should have
um
just gave him a mustache like and put a beard on him like the death of
they should
Superman.
just give him a beard for real. But I think Caesar is a great Joker. He has classic episodes like Surfing with Batman that's just ridiculous. But his best episodes are probably his first episodes with the Joker utility belt. That's it's just a classic one. I think Caesar's pretty darn great. I really do. And his laugh is good. His looks good. He's pretty good. All right, your number 3,
My number 3 is Jerome Valeska.
Jerome Valeska.
Like this is definitely pulling from Scott Snyder's run with like he had at one point, he cuts his face and puts it back on, and it's gross and creepy. Like, but he is
Well, his
so
cult. So I'm glad I watched those clips. So the dude that helps Joker in The Dark Knight, that actor, gosh, what's his name? He's
David
just David.
Delsmosian.
Yes.
Yeah,
So the one that helped him in The Dark Knight with shooting the mayor is also the one that's like the leader of the cult to resurrect him. So I loved how they did that, how they got him in there.
I mean, it's his character goes through so much, like, but like he's so playful and fun, like in a twisted
Mhm.
sense. And like the one scene I was watching, which is I think from the picture that you have where he goes into a building and he's like just shooting and talking and everything. Like, I don't know, I could watch him in this version, and especially like I said, this is when he's like had his face cut off and then puts it back on. And that kind of gives him more of that white face than when he was just Jerome crazy. So he's very entertaining. Like, but yeah, that'd be my third one.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice there. My number 3 is Ledger.
Dang.
And I like Joker with I don't like it to be makeup. I don't I don't like the face carving. I don't I like for me, Joker with the face carving, but he's so good. Like he's just I mean the boat scene, we could talk about the boat scene forever. The boat scene hurts him. But I understand but
Mhm.
him trying to get Batman, him trying to make people, have a bad side, him trying to corrupt Harvey Dent, him trying to corrupt Batman, him trying to corrupt Gotham, what sold him, like I remember seeing this at the midnight showing when it came out and going right off work. I got off work at like 11 and I went right to it by myself and I'm sitting in that theater and other than wondering if they're going to do Two Face, in this movie, even though thinking they should save it for the third movie, what like that opening scene is just so fantastic with him, like, I think he's out of bullets, just nodding his head and not really saying much. It was a great first scene. But what sold me is when he goes to the guy and, and he's like, you want to see a magic trick? And he slams a dude's head down on the pencil. That sold me. Like that's a Joker right there. Him burning the money, it's about sending a message. Him breaking the pool stick and saying, "Here's tryouts." Like he is an amazing, amazing Joker, and he definitely deserved the Oscar. But they're just little things about him that I like. I like it to be a little different. So that's me. All right, you're number two.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson,
I
which
like.
ma- which makes Leto your number one Joker,
You mean Ledger?
or Ledger. It's my Leto, Ledger, whatever. Okay, so this is your number two, and Ledger is your number one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jack Nicholson and his Joker, but sometimes his Joker was just a little too. It wasn't scary. Like I didn't have the fearfulness, and it was a little. But once again, I don't think there's actually like neither of like the main three in film. From Nicholson, Romero, and Ledger, I think did anything bad. I think they're very true to the character. But Nicholson, like having just rewatched Batman '89 again, like it's, I mean, he looks great. He's the most probably best looking Joker all around. So if we're rating just on looks, he's the best looking. He's got the menace, the hair, the skin, the smile. But there's like some goofiness to his character that's not goofy, like comical, playful. It's just kind of like, and I'm like, okay, I don't find him as sinister or unexpected, but he does I mean, he's a great Joker. I mean, you can debate one in, either way. Ledger's, it's the personality that just sells it for me. That, like you said, he's so good and he has such a strong presence and he's so menacing. And his thing about his laugh is top notch out of all of them. And I agree with you. The makeup aspect, I prefer the skin bleach type thing, but the makeup makes sense. The scars I don't like, but for this version, I was willing to go with because I felt there was a story to it that was, even though we didn't really get the story, but it's part of like his history. But then since then, everyone's like, "Oh, that's the smile." No, and it was a take, it was a version, it fit into the world in which they were placing it. But his acting, performance, his characterization is so great and iconic for it. The sad part is I don't think there's really one version of live action Joker that I feel is definitive. Because like I said,
Yeah,
even with Nicholson, which I think people would default to, I still think it's still like there's a goofiness that doesn't always work. And with Ledger's, it's close, but I would his humor is there. It's just a little more dark humor, and I would like a little bit more playfulness with him. And if we could have just gotten the look, like if we could have given him his characterization with the Leto hair and the Leto skin, it'd probably be like my favorite looking Joker. And then give him the just a big smile.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right. So my number two is Jack Nicholson, with my number one being Cameron.
I'm not even gonna like when I ranked just actors. Cameron was my number one because he gave three distinctive performances as one actor, three distinctive Jokers, all on point. So he was my number one actor pick, with Ledger being my second actor because he showed range and diversity.
No, absolutely. I put Nicholson a little bit better than Ledger because I like the bleach skin. I like him following the vat of chemicals. I like the permanent grin. You know, I like his look. I like, you know, his I like how I like the suit, even though I like Ledger's suit as well. But I like you say that Nicholson's not very scary. To me, there are some scenes where you're looking at his eyes and you don't know how he's going to act. And more so in that scene with Vicky Vale and Bruce is there,
Mm,
like you see in his eyes where when Bruce is talking about Jack Napier, and then like you can see the gears turning in Joker's head, like this guy knows who I really am, like I kind of got to get rid of him. The scene where he shoots Bob, you know, the of course the scene where you first see him as Joker, where he shoots Grissom and he's jumping and laughing and like and shoots him several times, and then he just throws the hat and throws the gun down. He's like, "Oh, what a day," you know, like
yeah.
that is such a good Joker to me. And I think probably what hurts hurts it for you is the Prince music because you hate Prince.
Oh no, the
Um,
Prince music really
it
and
really hurts.
this Joker has like an obsessional love with art,
Yeah.
too, and like the whole like art with Alicia thing, and
Mhm. I don't think he's the definitive Joker. I don't even think Cameron is, but I think I just put him a little higher. I rank Cameron at number one because this dude played one, a two, a three Jokers. He played like kind of all three versions of them. But this version right here, the Jerome Joker, Cameron's hair is perfect. His face right there, perfect.
mhm.
Perfect for way I see Joker. And what sells me him in number one, other than like dropping bodies off of a building to spell something, and like how he kills his dad, you know, and does that whole thing, and his charisma, and you know his whole thing with Galavan, and like and his the scene there's a scene where he wakes up after having his face cut off by the cult guy, and he's with Leslie Tompkins, and and he's asking her like questions like, "Oh, so you're not with Gordon anymore? Sorry, I was dead for a year." You know, what happened there? Like him asking relationship questions, perfect. Like that's great Joker to me. And then him also asking like, my memory's a little fuzzy. Did you and I ever have a sexual relationship? You know, like you know, and then like her like hell no, and he's like, well, you know, we probably should have, you know, that type of thing. But what sold me the number one thing on him is this scene right here, where he's been selling the whole episode that he loves his mother and like he's okay with her being a whore and like all this stuff, feeding all this BS to Gordon. But when he gets caught and that old dude reveals that he's his father, like he tucks over and starts crying, and then he starts laughing, and we see the change in his face to this face right here. And I'm like, I just remember seeing that in 2014 and like, oh my gosh, this kid's amazing. And just totally sold me on him. I want him to come back as the Joker, to be honest
I
with you.
was about to say he's 31 years old. Just James Gunn bring him back as your Joker. Let him reinvent for a
Oh
fourth
my
time
gosh.
the Joker.
If Cameron comes back as a Joker, like I would be so happy. So there it is, everybody. Like, oh wait, hold on, let me add this back here. So going on our list here. So Tyler had Joaquin Phoenix as number 10, Cameron as Jeremiah number 9, Barry Joker from the Batman is number 8, Leto Suicide Squad 7, Leto Snyder Cut number 6, the evolved Jeremiah or Mr. J from Gotham of Cameron number 5, Romero number 4, Jeremiah Cameron as number 3, Nicholson number 2, and Ledger number 1. And then Brian had Joaquin, pretty close list
I
here.
mean, yeah, it is.
Joaquin number 10, Barry 9, Macaulay Culkin number 8, Snyder Leto number 7, Jeremiah number 6, Mr. J or whatever number 5, Romero number 4, Ledger number 3, Jack Nicholson number 2, and Cameron number 1. What a night of podcasting, huh?
What a night.
So we'll release this as like 3 different episodes here, as you guys can see. And thank you, Tyler, very much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Hope everybody, I know if everybody liked this podcast and they want to know more about horror history and more about evil characters and their history and more discussions, make sure that you hit our follow button on any podcast player. Search for Gravely Amusing and search for us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. Hit like and subscribe. Keep those lanterns lit in the graveyard for me. I hope this podcast thrilled you. I hope it shocked you. And if nothing else, I hope it left you gravely amused.